Okay, ji. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hussain Qazi here, the facilitator for the subject Financial Management, Advanced Financial Management, and Strategic Business Reporting. So, this particular session is about Financial Management Orientation. And welcome to the platform of Escribir Academy. Let's start the Financial Management Orientation session. First of all, the agenda of the complete session, we need to cover the agenda first. What is the total agenda of this session? Number one, first we will cover how to study the finance. Means what's the right approach to study finance. Then we will cover what the insight of financial management syllabus. Number three, what's the FM exam structure. Number four, what the financial management subject real challenges and how to overcome that challenges. That means the solutions. Number five, FM study and practice material. What the material from our side, what the material you already have, including the study hub material and all the things. And last one, FM with Hussain Qazi. So let's start. A quick profile, a quick briefing about myself. That I'm Hussain Qazi. Alhamdulillah, more than 1.5 decade of the teaching experience. A specialized subject, it's financial management, advanced financial management, and strategic business reporting. Senior faculty member at Tabani School of Accountancy, associated with the Escribir Academy as well. Alhamdulillah, over my career, the students associate with me or multiple time got nation and global positions, not in Pakistan, beyond the Pakistan as well. And the ACCA multiple time invited me to conduct multiple sessions to support the students for FM, AFM, and SBR. By profession, I'm a chartered certified accountant and also serve as a director in HRS Network, a leading firm, accountancy leading firm. You can approach me through the WhatsApp during my office hours, and the WhatsApp number 0092-321-827-1784, or you can approach to Escribir Academy Management. Once again, I'm expecting that you people are getting my voice very clearly. My video is showing very clearly. Strongly suggest check your gadgets. All the gadgets are up to the mark. And if you have any issue, you can contact me on the approach to the admin team of Escribir. So all things perfect. Can you please reply me you are taking the live session? So let's move the first agenda point, the very first agenda point. What is the right approach to study finance? What is the right approach to study finance? Right approach to study finance. Whenever you study the subject finance in your life, in ACCA, the subject financial management, and at advanced level, advanced financial management. After the ACCA qualification, you can move towards CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst. Whenever you study finance, do remember that the approach to study finance is different as compared to accounting. I know that you people have well studied about the subject accounting in F3 and FR, and even you studied the other subject F2, that's about the costing. So whatever you have studied about the costing, accounting, and financial reporting. That's a different game. The accounting was the game about recording and reporting of the transaction. But the finance subject, it's not anything about recording or reporting. Or I must say, this is not about something historically you need to record. This subject is something about future oriented. Future oriented. Think about future, the planning, the strategy. If a moment you recall, if a moment you recall a basic NPV you have studied in F2, just recall. So NPV is about what? Is something about recording of transaction or is something about planning of some investment? Can you please reply me? Or ask yourself if you are watching the video. The NPV topic is something about, is this something about recording or something about planning? I must say, and definitely you people also think in this manner, NPV is something about planning. That is something about strategy, that we need to invest or not, future cash flows, positive or negative NPV, decision making, let's move onwards or not. So, right approach to study finance is that our role here is not accountant but as a financial manager. More clarity required, more clarity. Any one of this picture you know, any one of this picture you know about? Anyone? Anyone? I really appreciate if the session is interactive, no? So do reply me, even if you reply the wrong answer, no worries about it. So, do you know any one of the personality? Let's suppose, yes, Apple CEO Steve Jobs, yes. Facebook owner, yes. Microsoft owner, LinkedIn owner, and Richard Branson, a very giant businessman. So, the these personalities all are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs. So, why I attach this picture with this slide? Why attach this picture in this slide? Because if you really want to study finance, always think or always develop a mindset as an entrepreneur, not an accountant. Always develop a mindset as an entrepreneur. So, number one, your mindset should like an entrepreneur, not an accountant. Your approach to study finance as that, as a finance manager, because finance manager always think like entrepreneur think, but not the accountant. And this is all about, this subject is all about planning. It's not about the past, it's about future oriented. Let it be clear in a more uh, specific and in an example. Have you ever have you ever um, have you ever made this financial statement, that is income statement and the balance sheet? Of course, sir. This income statement, balance sheet is our part of the life. Income statement, that means calculating the profit. Balance sheet is something about asset here, asset. And the right side, that's finance, debt finance, equity finance. That is what the picture about. Huh? This picture and two different personalities. Number one, how this picture how this picture has imagination in the mind of accountant, and how this picture the imagination in by the entrepreneur or financial managers. So what is this about? For example, assume that you are an entrepreneur. Assume that this personality is you and this is your business. You are an entrepreneur of a big cement plant. Okay, and this personality is me, accountant. I'm a chartered accountant and my role is very respectable. Record all the transaction according to accounting standard, a very respectable role. I'm not criticizing the financial reporting. A personality. Who is this guy? A production manager. A production manager. Assume that you are an entrepreneur and I am sitting in a room where you as entrepreneur and me as an accountant are sitting together. A door knock by this production manager and start communication with you, entrepreneur. And here the communication is that production manager says that, sir, enough is enough. The above production plant capacity is 100% full now. And now your product demand is continuously increasing. So it's time to expand the plant, make expansion of the plant. Are you people with me? What is about the case? There is a room and there are three personalities. You as an entrepreneur, me as an accountant, and there is a communication between entrepreneur and production manager. Production manager trying to convince to you, the entrepreneur, that sir, need to expand the plant. Means investment. Now, I wanted to ask a question to you. The same picture with the previous slide, the balance sheet and income statement. Me as an accountant, thinking in this manner, if this plant become expanded, what should be the debited? What should be the credited? According to what accounting standard I should depreciate? This is my approach as an accountant. But there's a question to you. Are you thinking same as an accountant? Just reply me yes or no. With this communication, will you think in the same manner like an accountant? Yes or no? Yes, very good. You will never think in this manner. You will never think in this manner that what should be debited, what should be credited. Instead, the entrepreneur must have to think in this manner that if we are going to invest in this plant, how we will arrange the finance. That is, how to arrange debt finance, how to arrange equity finance. Means, how should I arrange the finance? Either by debts or equity. Number two, if we are going to invest in the machine with the new product, new market acquisition, this is all investment. Is this investment worthful for me? Assuming, evaluate the investment by NPV. And this investment should be evaluated based on the profit. So that means the thinking of entrepreneur is different as compared to accountant. So as finance manager, we must have to think like entrepreneur think. Our approach to study finance parallel approach to study finance is parallel with the approach by an entrepreneur. Students, a single minute silent required. Prayers is going on here, that's why. A single minute silence. Okay, let's move. So the point of conclusion that our approach to study the finance, it's just like an entrepreneur, not an accountant. Although the picture is same, the image is same, that's balance sheet income statement, but we need to make imagination in a different manner. That is the point. Now quickly, what the syllabus insights? What are the syllabus details? There are 6 syllabus areas. Number 1, financial management function and environment. Number 2, investment appraisal. Number 3, business valuation. Number 4, business finance. Number 5, working capital management. And number 6, risk management. So one by one, the syllabus details. The first topic is about financial management function and environment. This topic is 100% theory. It's all about theory. It's all about theory. And the exam scope is 5 to 10 marks. And you people know very well, with the skill module of the financial management, there are 3 sections. Section A, Section B, Section C. The Section A, financial management function and environment, examiner only examine with Section A. Only examine with Section A. Means with OTQs and MCQs. With Section A MCQs and objective based questions, examiner will examine, and this is all about theory, but it's a part of the syllabus and very important. Number 2, Section B, investment appraisal. This is all about appraisal of the investment. Very interesting topic. Most of the time, mostly calculation, and here the topic is 25 to 40% theoretical aspect. What is the meaning of a standard theory? We will cover later. 25 to 40% part, that's about the standard theory. Exam scope 15 to 25 marks, and examiner can examine A part, B part or C part anywhere. Anywhere. Section C, business finance. One area that is about investment, another part that is about finance. This subject, it's more about long term. It's more about long term. 2 areas of the syllabus about short term as well, but most about the things related to long term. For example, where a company can arrange the finance. So there are 2 possibilities, either debt finance, either equity finance. So syllabus area, what are the dynamics of equity and debt finance? This topic is a mixture of theory and calculation, mixture. And the exam scope is 10 to 15 marks, 10 to 15 marks to complete paper. Examiner can examine any of the part, A, B or C, any of the part. Section D, business valuation. Business valuation. This topic is actually related to advanced financial management. Major area of business valuation is about advanced financial management. Here examiner examine business valuation with a very limited part. Here we will discuss that how to value equity, how to value debts. Here it's more about if a company going to acquire some another business. For example, if you are Mobilink, let's suppose in Pakistan, a Mobilink, a telecom company, and you are going to acquire another telecom company that's called Bharat. So before you going to approach me, before you going to acquire me, you must have to value my business. You must have to value my business. So here, very much think about acquisition. And same case from my side, if I am going to sell my business, I need to determine the value of my business. What is the right value to sell? Very interesting topic. Examiner examine with a mix of calculation and theory. Exam scope 10 to 15 marks. Examiner only examine with A and B section. This area of the syllabus only examined with A and B part. A and B part. Section E, working capital management. Section E and F. Section E and F is about the business decision making, but the short term. The business finance and investment aspects, but the short term. Working capital management. A simple point. For example, if you are going to start a business, for example, you wanted to open uh, a supermarket. So number one, you required investment for the long term. For example, land, for example, building, for example, equipments, infrastructures. This is what about long term. But you also need some finance for short term purpose as well. So what does that mean? The short term, the investment required to meet the day-to-day expenses. For example, you need to buy inventory to hold in the stock and sell to the customer. For example, you need to pay the salaries and the wages to the employees. You need to pay overheads. So these are short-term aspects. So for any business, if the finance required for the long term as well as the short term, for both purpose the finance required, long term as well as short term. That's a point. So the working capital management, it's what about the short term? Topic about working capital management. This is the mixture of calculation and theory. A examiner very much interested to ask the theoretical aspect of this area of the syllabus. Very much interesting. Exam scope 15-25 marks. Examiner examine with A part, B part and C part with all area of the syllabus. A part, B part, C part. Any part of the exam structure, examiner can examine the working capital management. That is the point. So one another point I wanted to say with working capital management. If you wanted to opt the advanced financial management after the FM, so advanced financial management is the advanced subject of financial management. For example, if you study investment appraisal here, you will study advanced investment appraisal in AFM. If you study business valuation here, you will study advanced business valuation with AFM. Same for risk management and all subjects. But this area of the syllabus, working capital management, do remember, examiner particularly mentioned that we will totally examine the working capital management in FM exam. No working capital area of the syllabus will examine with advanced financial management. So this topic examiner know very well. Then we need to test with all aspects, basic and advanced, both. So this is very critical. And examiner has examined the things in a very technical way about the working capital management. Last area of the syllabus, treasury and risk management. Treasury and risk management. As per the picture, shelter. Shelter means protection. Every business face the risk, and sometimes business wants to protect the risk. So here in the financial management, the risk management role plays under the treasury function. Treasury function. What are the treasury function? We will cover later. Treasury means that purely handle the cash of the business. And we will cover here two particular risk. Number one, forex risk. Forex risk. For example, your business deals with that type of business where regularly import material. So the risk you have, if you are going to import the material and your local currency become devalue, so you will face the loss. So here we will discuss the forex, how to manage the forex risk. Another one, with the head of treasury function, how to cover interest rate risk. If company regularly borrow or lend money, so and the interest rate, interest rate fluctuates in a regular manner. So for example, if we have a plan to borrow money after 3 months, but we have a risk that after 3 months interest rate will increase. How to manage this point? That's a matter of the risk management here. So under treasury function, two aspects need to cover: forex risk management, interest rate risk management. Examine very limited topic with FM. A very detailed we will cover AFM. It's more about calculation, and we cannot ignore the theory. Exam scope 10 to 15 marks. Only examine with section A and B. That is what we till now we have covered two agenda points. How to approach finance, how to approach the study of finance like an entrepreneur, about future aspects, number one. Number two, syllabus insight. If you have any question, you can ask me here. If you have any question, you can ask me. So next move with respect to the FM exam format. Financial management exam format. Section A, OTQs, 15 objective test questions having 2 marks each, total 30 marks. Section B, 3 objective test cases, and each case have 5 objective test questions, total 30 marks, 10 marks each case. And section C, constructive response questions, 2 CRQs, 20 marks each. So that's what the exam structure. With section A and B, the type of question the examiner can examine either multiple choice, multiple response, blanks, drag and drop down list, hotspot, hot areas with section A, B. So examiner with these category can examine the 60% of the question with section A and B. And section C, this is what the structure, that spreadsheet and the word processing, that we have to respond accordingly with this structure. This is what about the structure of the exam paper. Now the next agenda point. What is the right approach? What is the right approach to study FM? What is the right approach to study FM? So this picture, it's very important. It's showing that what's the right approach. For assuming that you are a pilot of this aircraft. Assuming that you are a pilot of this aircraft. And the time to land, the time is to land that aircraft. So what very first point you need to consider? Once you have decided that, yes, we have to land, the very first thing is that approach the landing. If your landing approach is not right, this may happen, which means you are not able to get success of the effort. So very important point before starting the subject, that's the right structure of financial management, means a right approach to study financial management. Before discussing in depth about what is the right approach to study finance, what is the right approach to study financial management subject, according to the examiner expectation, the very first point is about the passing rate. The FM passing rate is average, I can say 50%. And this is what about the highest motivation for us. It's a almost 50% chance that we will pass the exam. This is the highest motivation. Number two, if we really wanted to pass this exam, we need to accept some reality. Number one, this subject is theoretical based calculation, because most of the time student ask that, sir, how much calculation, how much theory? So the answer is that this is theoretical based calculation exam. What does that mean, sir? Theoretical based calculation. Just recall some topics. For example, you have studied sometime ratios and analysis. You studied your previous studies variance and analysis. The variance and analysis, ratio and analysis is about calculation based theory. The subject, that topic is calculation based theory. Ratio calculation, then draft theory. Variance calculation, then draft theory. But here the situation is reverse, 180-degree reverse. The whole subject is based on economics, that is theory. And calculation is supportive. So if someone asks that how much theory and calculation in the subject, the answer is very simple. This subject is theoretical based calculation. So how can we ignore theory? Whenever you face the exam, almost 55 to 60% marks relates to theory. 55% to 60% marks related to theory. Sometimes 65%. So we need to approach our study we need to develop our study of the financial management in a way that actually we face the exam. Means according to the examiner expectation. That is the point. When we are discussing that what the right approach to study the subject financial management, so we need to cover one important point: why the student fail. What are the common reasons of the failure? This is what examiner highlight. This is what about the examiner highlights. Number one, examiner says that by marking the questions, we observe that students don't have enough practice of the past papers. Students are not able to think, not able to cover the paper 100%. That's called poor time management. Students are not attempting all parts of the questions. These are the common reasons of the failures. Student not explaining the answer according to the examiner expectation. Student most of the time invest the subject for selective studies, means lack of sufficient knowledge to cover the 100% syllabus. Panic in exam. Many students just this is the observation of the examiner. Many students just read the solution of the question and they do not try to read every part of the question by them. Means when you are preparing your studies, you not even try to understand the question, but you are very much hurry to read the solution. Means you just read the solution without understanding the question. These are the common reasons of the failures. This is what I have extracted from the examining team document. This is not my point of view. This is what I have extracted from the examining team reports. Sir, if these are the reasons, what should be the solution? Number one, if you really wanted to invest your time, invest your efforts towards the success, some important point. Enough practice of the past exam. Sir, there is a word practice and another thing is simulate, exam simulate. I will describe this word exam simulate during the phase of the syllabus areas later on. Number one, enough practice of the past exam. Number one. Number two, time management in the exam. You have to practice the question before the exam and practicing before the exam how to manage the time. If you practice before the exam how to manage the time, automatically at the time of exam you will be able to cope the things accordingly. Try to attempt all parts of the question, explaining the answer according to the examiner expectation. This is the most challenging issues to face by the student. Drafting of answer, explanation of the answer. We will discuss here how to draft or explain the answer. Sufficient knowledge about all syllabus area means you have a 100% syllabus knowledge. No panic in the exam. I will suggest you and I will provide you the practice question where we will discuss that how to handle the panic. The simple formula is that if one question you are facing hard, so do remember that in any one question something hard, it's not mean that all the question and even that particular question is completely hard. For example, you are attempting some 10 marks question of CRQ. 10 marks question of CRQ. 4 marks you are facing the challenge for 4 marks question. But do remember, not the 100% 10 marks question is hard. So first you have to start your question with the easy aspect and save and secure your easy marks. And then for hard aspect, you just put your best effort. Mark my words, examiner will never fail you if you are attempting the hard aspects in a wrong manner. If you are attempting the hard part of element in a wrong manner, you will not fail, but you will fail the exam if you become panic with that question and you have all you attempt the wrong aspect of the hard part and also attempted wrongly the easy marks as well. If you lose the easy marks, then you will lose your exam. Do remember, attempting the hard part with your best effort, it's not possible that you will disqualify your exam. But by panicking the situation, remaining 6 marks, if you are attempting in a wrong manner, then you will disqualify the exam. That is the point. Next point. Whenever you are attempting the question, carefully read every part of the question. For example, if there is a question mentioned that explain part A and comment on the conclusion. So actually, before end and after end, there are 2 questions. Normally students ignore the aspect of end, before, after end. Explain the part A, you have done very brilliant. And ignore after the word end what is examiner expecting you. So do remember, always understand 100% requirement and also attempt the 100% requirement. So these are the aspects how to overcome the failures. That's the point. Furthermore, FM study and practice material. This is what about from my side. You will get 100% course notes of your studies. I will also provide some suggested answers, especially for constructive response answers, suggested answers. And past paper question bank I will provide you. You need to arrange the Kaplan study text, at least a revision kit, and ACCA study hub you have already access. This is what about the course material. This is what about the practice material. Past exam question practice material, that's very much important. Past exam practice material. These are the practice material. So these are the practice material that you need to cover here. Left side, the 10 questions available with the CB format. The right side, the 7 questions not available with the CB questions, but with the PDF format. I will provide you with the PDF format as well. For section A and B, you need to work out with my practice questions plus ACCA study hub material plus Kaplan kit. That's more than enough. Further, how the FM session will execute. Actually, this is all about 9 weeks targets. So preparation hours 80, revision hours 20. We will provide you the weekly targets and we will meet regularly on the weekends with a fixed schedule. Once you become registered, you will be able to get a fixed schedule of weekly live session. My assistants will provide you through the WhatsApp and the regular feedbacks, whatever the assignment I will hand over to you. That's the point. Target points 10 weeks. Your lecture preparations means your videos, assignments, revision, mocks, all these things. The syllabus is 100% compulsory. Syllabus is 100% compulsory. That's important. No, if you just leave 1% of the syllabus, examiner can examine with the exam even with 2 marks MCQs and you will lose it. So cover 100% syllabus. Your success based on 4 steps. Number 1, getting the knowledge and exam technique by pre-recorded lectures. Number 2, self-attempt questions, regular feedback from tutor, and monitor your performance. So number 1, watching the lectures, exam techniques, self-attempt questions, regular feedbacks, reading material including study tags, notes, and suggested articles by me, whatever the suggestion I will provide to you. Number 4, mock exams and assignments and the briefing. If you follow these 4 instructions, inshallah, I can assure you, may Allah, God willing, you will qualify your exam. We have total 10 weeks, and the preparation time 7 weeks, 2 weeks revision. Let's move on. This is what about the motivation to you. This is what about the motivation to you. If they can do that, believe me, it's all about power of belief. So success rule based on power of belief. Let's move on. Let's start the FM journey with us. And if you wanted to register with the course, coordinate with Escribir management, and you can ask any question to me or the Escribir management. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can ask me. Thank you. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.